You're listening to Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt.
I'm Wes. I'm Joey.
And I'm Brian. Wes isn't with us tonight. Wes is just taking a week off while he's settling into Michigan. We wanted to give him a little breathing room, let him get his...
I just read that you wrote a week
everything.
off. We're interviewing for someone to fill in a spot.
This is a podcast where we talk about gravel bikes, gravel events, bike packing, and adventure biking of all different flavors. Did I say that it's episode 62 already?
No, we're getting there.
Man, oh man, oh man.
What are we going to do for 100?
I don't know, but that'll be just closing in. 104 will be our 2-year anniversary. But
that'll be like our Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah, that's right. Let's start planning for that
stuff
now.
Some turkeys for that one.
Let's do it.
Actually, we have a big old Friendsgiving for that. That'd be awesome.
That would be fun.
And run out the Holiday Inn.
Maybe do like we make all these plans. Let's not do that.
I want to go up to PA for Thanksgiving.
That would be fun. Maybe we could go halfway and go to like Ohio.
Why don't we just show up at Dave's house?
We show up at Wes's house.
I'm not going to Michigan. Are you kidding me? That's a waste.
Michigan in November? Oh, no. Yeah. Not doing it.
It's armpit of winter.
Anything going on Patreon or PayPal this week? Joey?
Actually, no. I usually say no.
And then there is.
But no. And we put out the bacon challenge, and we have...
I'm really surprised. I'm surprised nobody took us up on that.
It could be people that are already supporters.
Yeah, you could up your ante.
Yeah.
If you're like doing $2 a month, you could just tag another $2 in, and that would count. That would count. So if you want to up your game, you know.
Well, like Tom said, his wife found out and she was okay with his $4. Tom, go to 10.
Yeah.
Tom.
Yeah.
Peer pressure. Well, you guys got a little intimate.
So what is the hashtag bacon challenge?
You know, we could start a movement across bag company stuff. Which bag company could fit the most bacon?
And it's cooked bacon.
All right, yeah. So we will destroy a Nittany Mountain Works half frame bag or make it better with that bacon smell. So,
which do you think it would be?
Make it better.
So no, it would smell really good. But think about it. Everything you put in the bag would then also smell like bacon, and you would have that perpetual kind of slime, and then eventually bugs will find it.
The problem with that is
nothing. I guess everything would be slippery that comes out.
Bugs. Well, it happens.
I mean, like a bag really lasts that long anyway. I mean,
those things seem pretty durable.
They do. Although there's like some like fraying that's happening on one piece of mine. I need to talk.
Take a lighter to it.
Yeah. No, it's on the. I'll show it to you. It's not. It's not a big deal.
I mean, you could probably send it back and they'll fix it.
No, I'm not worried about it. It's not a big deal. Huh. It's not a big deal.
Well, you just made it sound like one.
No, that's why I said it's not a big deal.
All
I don't
right.
make it sound like a big deal. It's not a big deal.
Any T-shirt sales?
No T-shirt sales this last week.
You got to be really fat or really little.
There are a few like normal sizes left, but we're going to bring those with us to Coronatan and like either give them away or.
Oh, Dennis Karimsky. I don't know if I was supposed to say his last name. He's pretty secret.
His last name.
Had a good T-shirt idea.
What was that?
You know how you've seen the coffee bikes? It's just like 4 bullet points and have the World Bicycle Relief one.
Yeah.
He said we should do one that's do good, be nice, go slow, respect it. Just that.
Just that?
Yeah.
I love that.
That'd be pretty good.
That would be nice with like the bike outline. Maybe that should be the one that instead of like...
No, just bold, like boom, 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 boom.
I think I made a graphic like that one time. But then I didn't do anything with it. I think I made that one point. But yeah. I like it. I'll work on it. I'll work on that. We did sell some stickers this last week, right?
Yeah. I think I'm all caught up. I got to actually go tomorrow morning and double check what I sent out and then check off all of the... everyone's up to date now.
This one just came in today, though, right? Tim?
Oh, did we get one today? Or yesterday?
Yesterday.
Oh, I didn't do that
You
one
didn't have that one yet. That was Tim from Asheville, North Carolina. Thank you very much, Tim, for buying a sticker pack. Now, we'll bring stickers and all that kind of stuff. I've still got a whole bunch of Love You Buys. In fact, I got an email. I think it was direct to me.
I didn't get one.
I think it was just direct to me. Somebody had clamped their Love You Buy sticker, and they were upset. Oh, yeah, I see that.
Like that.
Yeah.
They
clamped the Love You Buy sticker in a work stand, and it
man.
I know, right?
That's
and
the worst.
He was like, you got any more? And I was like, yeah, I got a lot of those. Those came from Ted. We have got a lot. So we're definitely going to get some of those out, and we'll have a crap ton of those at Coronatan.
Yep.
Did you pick that up? I didn't say Croatan.
Oh, I know. I heard you.
I said Coronatan.
I've been saying it so much. It's just, it's normal now. Coronatan.
I got an email from Tanya over at Rothrock. They are sold out, men's and women's. Sold out. So she met her goal. They set a high target, man, and they met it and crushed it.
Nice.
That is so exciting what they're doing up there. I'm so stoked for that event. And even though it is sold out, and talking with Tanya, we are going to do an entry giveaway.
Ooh.
And here are the rules. If you would like to win an entry to the Rothrock Grit, any distance, your choice. And it is open to both men and women. So what you want to do is go on Instagram. You want to post a pic of your bike, any bike, doesn't have to be a gravel bike, can be anything. And be creative.
Harley?
A part of it. Yeah, you could make a tricycle. You could do whatever you want to do. So put that on Instagram, and you got to use the hashtag GTD Rothrock. You have to tag 3 friends, and you have to tag us at Mid-Atlantic GTD and Rothrock Grit at Rothrock Grit, telling us why gravel is the best, and the most creative response wins an entry. So I don't know how we're going to judge that, but I think it'll be a panel. Maybe we can get, what was the guy, Simon? Maybe we can get Simon to come join us on that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would be, we'll have to have some British influence. Now,
we'll just have fish and chips that night.
We'll do something fun. So that's how you can get in on Rothrock if you, in fact, didn't get in already and you've missed the boat from China.
When is Rothrock? Is that June 3rd?
I can't remember. I think it's I'd have to look it up.
I don't know.
I'll put all the details in the show notes, and I'll put all of that information in the show notes too. So you'll have the hashtag that you'll need to use. You'll have the accounts that you need to tag, and off you go. What else is going on?
Our jerseys are delayed because of Corona. And I haven't heard much back from Phil.
I did get an email from somebody saying, "Hey, what's going on with that?" So
yeah, Corona.
He's probably got his hands full. I swear with all this stuff
Philip.
going on.
Yeah. I don't want to bug him too much. It happens.
No,
we can't do anything about it.
We'll see him this weekend.
Oh yeah,
he'll be at Croatan.
Well, it's Coronatan.
Coronatan, that's right, Coronatan. We're going down the shore, hon. Yeah. We're gonna go down the beach to the get a Coronatan.
I just got that's one of them redneck sayings of the day. Coronatan.
Coronatan. Hey, what do you got in front of you that you're drinking over there?
Right now I have Calvert Brewery 7th State Golden Lager. My dad picked it up for me the other night when he came over for dinner.
They do good beer, Calvert Brewing.
It's pretty good. It went really well with the sausages I made for dinner with the sweet onions that I sauteed.
They have a milk stout that's really good too. Calvert Brewing is a local.
I don't like the flapjack much anymore.
That's the maple stout.
Yeah.
I've never been a big fan of the breakfast, but I like milk stouts.
It's pretty good. I'll switch over to some 1792 Maker's Mark after this.
Nice.
just a sip of it.
Fancy pants. You ought to put that bottle on the table and take a picture of that. That would be a good one. I am having a polar seltzer because I'm in training. I'm taking this.
You've been taking it serious.
I'm taking the Coronatan very serious, and I've been thinking about. Well, let me jump right in. So, to catch up with what I've been up to, I did a big ride yesterday. So that would have been Monday.
Lucky.
Did like a little over 70 miles, like 72 miles, and right now I'm sitting at 1,139 miles for the year, and my goal was to have 1,000 miles heading into Coronatan. So I feel good, and I'm getting a little nervous. I'll be honest.
I don't know why.
I think nerves are a good thing. I think nerves keep you honest, and so I'm looking at the 3 laps, and I'm like, okay,
so you get diarrhea.
No, it doesn't happen to me.
That doesn't happen to you?
That doesn't happen to me.
I'm horrible.
So lap 1, I think, is all about settling in. And getting the lay of it, and I think it really helped going down there and doing the pre-ride.
Yep.
I think that is going to make a huge difference on those nerves and settling in on that first lap. I think the second lap is about endurance.
Pinner. You got a pinner?
A panner?
You got a pinner? You got to go.
What?
Never mind.
No, I don't know what in the world you're talking
pinner.
about. So I'm just going to keep going. Lap 2 for me is all about the endurance side of it. That's where the training comes in.
Yep.
And then I think lap 3 is mental. Lap 3 is all in your head. It's going back out for that third time to do the same things that you've already done twice.
Yeah.
You know exactly what it's going to take. Now, we were talking about this earlier, and I'd actually love to hear what people think about this. So my plan, I know that I'm going to reset my Garmin, and I am not going to have speed or distance displayed on my Garmin.
Yep.
And I was just thinking about displaying time. But you were thinking that wasn't a good idea.
I just think time would get in your head.
Well, for me, though, I think that's a big measure of what I'm doing. And I think that's a big picture measure instead of how fast am I going in the moment. I think time is that big kind of,
now we're getting philosophical.
Philosophical.
We
need to get hold of Philip.
Phil Thomas is coming on, yeah. Philosophical.
For me, I think that works for me.
Yeah.
But I would love to hear what other people have to say on that, because I think that's and we've been talking about nutrition.
Yep.
And I think the plan. So I did that 70 some odd miles yesterday, and that was road, but I still did it on my Diverge.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I did do some gravel. I went down into Flag Ponds.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's your first time down there.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of gravel. I did that whole 70 on our stop for lunch at Roy Rogers.
Yeah, which our friend Tom has never been to.
That's
amazing.
amazing.
He's never been there.
Never been to a Roy Rogers. I mean, that's crazy.
And he went the worst time when they're remodeling.
Yeah, and he walked in. I thought he was joking too.
Yeah.
When we walked in, I could tell the tone in his voice. He was like, "What do they have here?" Like, what do you mean? What do they have here? They have Pappy Parker's
Frickin'
chicken.
Roy Rogers.
Do you remember when they called it Pappy Parker's chicken? No, you don't, do you?
I turn 30 next month, so
okay. Yeah, they used to be Roy Rogers and Pappy Parker's chicken. So Roy Rogers was the restaurant, and Pappy Parker's was
the chicken side.
Was the chicken side? It wasn't a different restaurant. It was just
the same.
And there was a little cartoon character, a little man with a long funny hat, and that was Pappy Parker, and the chicken was his.
Do you remember when Wendy's used to have a good fried chicken?
Yes,
because I was back and forth between Roy's and Wendy's, who had the best fried chicken.
Yeah,
those were the days.
Yep. We used to have a Roy Rogers in the student union at in College Park at Stamp Union in University of Maryland, and I remember eating a lot of wings. I had a couple of college roommates that one of them worked in the Roy Rogers, and he would cook, because he would close at like midnight, and he would cook a crap ton of chicken, and he would come home on a weekend night on a Friday or Saturday night, and he would literally have 2 giant buckets of fresh fried chicken.
You were like Kramer on Seinfeld. You remember that?
Yes, yeah, the Roy Rogers sign.
Yeah.
That was a Kenny Rogers sign outside the window. It was glowing red. Yeah, gotta have the chicken.
Yeah,
we got way off the rails, sir.
Yeah.
So from a nutrition standpoint, I did all of that with one package of shot blocks, 2 small water bottles, and our stop at Roy's.
Yeah.
And I felt good at the end of that. I still felt good. So I think my plan from a nutrition standpoint is shot blocks on the bike, rice cakes at the pit stops. I'm going to do 2 large water bottles for each lap.
What do you want in your rice cakes?
Chocolate chips. That's it. Yeah, just chocolate chips.
You want it with blueberries?
No. Chocolate chips. There's a little sugar to kind of get you going. Little caffeine, I think would be a good thing. So I'm doing the shot blocks, the rice cakes.
I'll put pickle juice in there.
Oh, pickles. We need to actually think about
we actually need pickles.
We need pickles. So we're going to have a pit tent. So we'll have our own little tent where we're going to have all of our stuff set up and ready to go. So my bottles, I'm going to do 1 bottle with Noon tablets for electrolytes. The other bottle is going to be water.
Yep.
So 2 big bottles per lap plus 1 small bottle that's going to go.
You going to do those PBR bottles?
No, God, no. Then
those guys will be down there.
Will they? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to. Oh, do we still have them?
I want them to autograph them.
No, I gave them to y'all. Y'all had them. I didn't keep.
Oh, well,
big
Wes
PBR
forgot
bottles.
his, and he doesn't.
Well,
get
there
it
we
back.
go. No, they're mine now.
I'm also having a West yard sale everything he left. I got a set of wheels from a Warbird. I got. I have those. I have a makeup mirror. I have some clothes. You name it.
A toilet brush.
Oh,
didn't he leave a toilet
lack
brush?
thereof.
You got a
no.
fireplace
He didn't use a
pit?
toilet brush because the toilet's disgusting.
Hey, Wes, do you hear that? No, you've also got a fireplace pit that you've been carrying around in the back of your truck. Which, hey, Wes, why didn't you offer that to me when I stored it at my house if you didn't want it? Because then you wouldn't have loaded it in your trailer, loaded it in the back of Joey's truck. He wouldn't have been hoboing it around in the back of his truck for the last week and a half.
I've had people coming up to me about it, like, "Hey, that's a nice chimney thing." I'm like,
just to bring it right back to my house.
Yeah.
Jeez, Wes, think ahead, buddy. Think ahead. No, so that's I think my nutrition plan is the rice cakes, the shot blocks, the water, the noon, and pickles, pickle juice. Because I like pickles. I just love pickles. So I mean, who doesn't love pickles, right? What are you thinking?
Sorry, I was texting Phil.
That's okay.
I don't know what I'm thinking, dude. I'm doing the audible. Remember?
Yeah, I know.
I am switching bikes.
Yeah.
Mentally. So here's my plan. Just what happens.
Yeah, it is what happens. You might get down there and you feel great and you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still riding.
Yeah.
Although I might downgrade to the 50 so I get a finisher's hat.
Oh, no.
And then, I read in the thing, so you can downgrade. So if I really want to just say I'm doing the 100, I'd feel better mentally. So you can do that day of or the day before. It sounds like at pack and pickup, the Stoke Box pickup.
So if you're there and you're not feeling it, I'm not doing it. I really want the.
Yeah, but you're in totally different shape than I am. I didn't prep well. I think I was an early case of Corona. Remember, like 3 episodes ago, I had I was either the early stages or the end of that flu thing that like really knocked me out.
Yeah, but that was just regular flu.
How do you know? I don't go to doctors.
Actually, I don't know.
I never go to doctors.
I don't know that at all.
They're the worst. I'm starting a movement. I told Brian yesterday. And Shannon today waited like an hour for a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we just start getting up after like 15 minutes like it was college again.
No, it's because they still charge you. They would love that because they've all got the little sign that says, we'll charge you $50 if you miss an appointment.
I'll give them pink eye.
But what if you show up for an appointment and then they take too long and then you say, I have to leave? They can't charge you for that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what we got to do.
We're going to start a movement?
Yeah, if everyone starts doing it, then they'll get their shit together.
Hashtag walk out on the dock. Well, no, you really can't do that because doctors are getting so much grief with the whole...
I don't care.
I don't know. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, proctologist has nothing to do with Corona.
So you're thinking that you're going to go down and you're not riding the Crux.
No, I decided this morning. I was sitting here and I texted. I was like, I've only have like a month of riding underneath it.
How many miles? How many miles do you think you have on the Crux?
I don't know. I never added it to my Strava profile.
Okay,
not that many. A few hundred.
That's tough. That's tough.
But the Sequoia's just sitting there raring to go. It's all set up perfectly.
You're going to strip it down. You're going to take the fenders off and
all that bullshit
give it some
stuff.
breathing room.
I'm putting my H Plus Sun Chris King wheels on it with 38 slicks, the Panda Racer Gravel Kings, and just setting her up.
Now I know earlier in the week we were like playing with the weather.
Yeah,
but we've kind of all stopped on that because honestly, I just don't think that's a good thing to dwell on.
Yeah,
but I think it's supposed to actually turn out nice. I think it's supposed to be a nice weekend.
And I'm still taking the Crux as a pit bike for all of us.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
Well, at least you and me ride SPDs. I think Larry does. I'll have my Pelican case with tools and extra pedals and a repair stand, and then someone goes south for someone.
If you need it, you can swap them pedals out.
And
too.
If you're not in our group, I'll charge you $100 a mile. I don't know.
The bike doesn't come back.
Yeah,
no, that wouldn't happen. That would not happen.
I'll sell it down there if someone wants it. Just everything's for sale.
Everything's always.
No,
for
I need
sale.
that bike for like Rothrock and stuff. So that's my big switch.
Okay,
I'm taking rice cakes. I'm filling up my Nittany food pouch with Haribo gummy bears.
Mm-hmm.
A couple water bottles.
And I think we're getting my Diverge dialed in finally.
Yeah, finally.
With that rear derailleur that I ripped off.
Yeah.
I'd never really, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, but because we've got, who do we have on tonight? We haven't even talked about that.
We didn't introduce. Oh man.
We did go. It's not in the show. It's not in the show notes.
Sorry, it's down at the bottom.
Well, we'll just
have the Phil section.
Really, really quickly. Phil Thomas. He is the manager of Haymarket Bicycle Studio and Shimano Gravel Alliance. And
he's in the Shimano Gravel Alliance.
Frostbike Bike Rides. He's a good guy. Joey knows him. He's coming on to talk about all things GRX, right? And Haymarket.
We're going to talk about GRX. We're going to talk about actually riding in Northern Virginia area where he's from because all he does is ride gravel.
Yeah.
We'll talk about his Frostbite series he put on.
Yeah.
And then I'm calling this one his Hail Mary to Coronatan because he got like a last minute 150.
Right. He's jumping in.
And just going to do it. I saw he had a question. I don't know. I'll have to ask him. His alcohol pack list between like Fireball and everything for the ride.
Oh my god!
With his friend, I was like, "Oh man,
no, not doing
that." If
that.
the Dirty Chain guys thought that they couldn't keep up with us, it sounds like we can't keep up with them.
Well, Allison, she drinks on the bike, so hey, it's all the cool kids are doing it, right? Hey, all the cool kids do it. We want to do it too. Hey, we did get a. I guess this came in through Facebook. Clydesdale Fat Wad our good friend Chris Vassallo, who now rides my old AWOL, and he gave us a recommendation. He gave the podcast a recommendation, and I really like this, the way he put this. He said, this podcast is like a group ride in my car. Love my Thursday commute with Brian, Joey, and sometimes Wes. I thought that was fun. I don't know. I guess I thought it was fun.
I think, didn't Tom, someone said it was like a group ride before. And
It might have.
That is perfect.
He might have said it somewhere else. But
I don't know if they've been on one of our group rides.
We stop at all the weird places.
Yeah.
What's going on in Strava Club?
Strava. Let's roll through Strava and get Phil on here. We have Adam Young from Lancaster, PA, which I really want to visit Lancaster soon for multiple reasons.
Yeah, let's do it.
140.7 miles. Curtis Aliyah? 171.9 out of Alexandria. We're going to have a high number a week. This weekend was nice.
Yeah.
And then actually Phil Thomas made it at 120.8.
That's Phil that's coming on.
No shit, you did that?
I did that. I pulled that.
Well, we need to go play scratch off tonight.
I totally pulled that random. I didn't, because I was just copy and pasting names and distances and locations. And it didn't even strike me. Ha, that's cool.
Well, dang, shoot. Honorable mentions. Flirtatious Frankie was probably wondering where we were this whole time, not mentioning him. He laid down a big ride.
Hey,
142 miles, like 19 something average.
Like 19.3.
Yeah, ridiculous.
So he's training for that DKXL. So get after it, Frankie. We're watching, buddy.
He's not. That's not even halfway for XL.
No, but I mean, you're laying down. That's a serious ride.
I just gotta give him crap. Local Warren, which is Oklahoma
local.
Oklahoma Warren. Had 338 miles. Sonia hit 290, and man, Mark, like I've been telling you how much I admire Mark. Came in at 260.
That's Philly
we
Bike
need Mark
Expo.
on here soon.
Oh, let's
Talk
that.
about
Philly Bike Expo.
Yeah,
they've been really active. They're starting to sell spaces, and I enjoy watching his feed too.
But his rides are like I don't like looking at a lot of people's Strava rides or posts, but Mark's one I genuinely get on and look for.
Hey, Strava just did some updates. You remember how the Strava feed used to be chronological? And so you could see, like, everybody that rode that day?
Yeah, I just liked it from,
And then they changed it. And it was their rides were all over the place.
Yeah.
And now they've just gone back and giving you new filters.
You have to show me how to do that.
Well, I don't even have figured out how to do it yet.
No.
I think you probably have to do it. If I know Strava, you probably have to do it on the computer, and then you will see it on the app. But you can set up favorites to follow. And you can also sort your feed based upon chronological again.
Roger.
So, and that's the way I always like to look at it.
Well, since we got rid of Wes, we only went up 4 members to 562 from 558. And did we bump up to make the top 100? You need 117.5.
That's a big
I think it's
bump.
a few bit more.
That's about 20 miles.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? No, it was
wasn't
over
it like 110.
Yeah, so
it's like
really
110 or 113.
It's not
because the
that
week
big.
before it was within like 0.2 miles.
Yeah.
Considering we have almost double the amount of listeners to the members in our Strava club, go to strava.com/clubs /gravel travel dirt.
Thank you. That's a good Strava update.
Yeah.
And that's so cool that I pulled Phil and it was totally random. I was sitting over here because I didn't do it earlier. I was just hitting the random numbers on my phone, just grabbing names. And I did actually, every single one of them were the first pulls, but I did check their location and to make sure they were kind of like real people, like
not
in
like
our
400
backyard.
clubbers.
Yeah, not from somewhere way out.
Oh, they're cool if you're from Ireland.
Yeah.
But don't you have like
if you're a multi-clubber, like if you're a clubber, a Strava clubber kid, a Strava clubber kid.
I have a tech tip of the week.
What'd it be?
I actually just wrote down wash your hands. You go on Croatan, wash your hands.
Coronatan.
Actually, the turkey baster thing popped up on Pathless Pedaled after our podcast last week.
I know, it's because they probably listened.
It's like the Hawaiian shirts last year.
That's what I'm saying. You know what? If we did,
I'm an influencer.
So we're not going to have our kits, our GTD kits.
But I think everyone we know going down is wearing our pack kits.
It's going to do pack kits. So we'll be in the black, blue, and white pack stripe kits. So,
Okay. I actually just wrote down wash your hands, though.
Do you not have any other actual tech tip?
I thought that was funny.
It's funny, but do you have a tech tip?
Well, I used like 3 tech tips last week.
I am so glad I don't have music for you today.
I know.
I could play some music for you.
all right, here's a tech tip.
Okay, go.
And I'm tired of doing tubeless sealant, but
I like your off the top of your head tech tips.
Off the top of my tech, because I manage a bike shop.
Just a tip.
I had 3 people come in today that were complaining about why their tubeless wasn't holding. They didn't have any sealant in their tires
because it was from last
pulling
season.
it. They're like these are people that haven't ridden. They're pulling their bike out. And you don't have to take your tire off to check your sealant. I think we've done 20 different ways to do sealant, but I don't know if I've said that. I told some guy in this store the other day, if you have a place to put your bike up, whether it's your bike rack, so it's not on the ground, check the easy way to check your sealant, and I guess I'm going to try to word this in the correct order. First, you want to, all right. So what I do is I don't take the tire off the bike. I don't take the wheel off the bike. I put it in the repair stand, and I let all the air out. I pop the seal. I take like a 6 to 12 inch piece of the tire off the rim, and I roll that down to the bottom where the sealant should be because gravity works. And there's sealant, there is, and there isn't. You check, if you need to add sealant, you dump it in right there.
So you basically are just unseating the bead.
Just a section.
Just a small section. Just
check
to
it because all these people, I charged them money just to do that and put sealant in it. Like I have to, like I'm working.
Yeah,
it's labor.
Yeah.
And that's easy. Stuff people could do at home, provided I have an air compressor. It's a little quicker, but some of the stuff it's easy though.
Yeah,
and then you can just dump in your sealant right there, and you don't take everything off.
Because honestly, most people have a work stand.
Yeah,
right.
And I even say like you can put it on your bike rack, so it's not because obviously if it's sitting on the ground, it's gonna be messy.
Well, wait a minute. Do they? Do you think most people have a bike stand, a work stand?
No. Yes, you have someone hanging it. I've hung mine off a tree branch. Like just put your saddle up on it.
Yeah, I guess I've just I was a mechanic in college, worked in a shop in college, and I've just always owned one. Yeah. And I just can't imagine not having a work stand.
I don't own one anymore.
I kind of take that for granted. I've even got one of those cheap Aldi. You ever seen the bike stands? No, I'm serious. I've got one of those. It's probably my go-to because it's light and it works just fine. So
I like my feedbacks.
It cost me $20 at Aldi's.
Dang.
Right. That's my tech tip.
I guess that's my tech tip.
Go to Aldi's and get yourself a cheap.
Support your local bike shop. Man, we have another bike shop manager coming on. We'll see how he feels. Check your sealant. It's the time of year. If you're not prepping for Coronatan, and you haven't ridden much,
nice.
It's easy. I only said that because I had 3 customers come in today.
Yeah,
and I did plug one because when I was doing this, I found a piece of glass in this lady's.
Yeah.
Man, I used the bacon strips. That's such a pain in the ass. Like I really wanted to pull a dart out.
Why didn't you? Oh, they're expensive.
Because she wasn't going to pay for that.
Yeah,
I just know who she was.
You should have just said, "Here's the newest and latest and the greatest," and you're gonna get a free lesson with the purchase. Because see, Joey, you got to mark it, buddy. You got to go. Okay, I can do this a couple of ways. I can put this little piece of sorry bacon in here, and that'll be fine, and you'll walk out the door. Or you could purchase the latest and the greatest, and you know what you get? You get a free lesson.
Now you only have one refill.
That's okay, because then you have to buy a refill package. You actually say you absolutely positively do not want to have just one.
Well, you should come work part-time and fill in Wes's hole.
That's how you do it, man.
Yeah.
That was a $50 sale that you let walk out the door. By giving away something for free.
I know. I charge her for the bacon.
No, yeah. I know what you mean. But how much did you charge her for one little piece of bacon?
Only like $1.
Well, there you go.
I charged her labor. That's
so
where
it was a $50 sale instead of a $1 sale.
Yeah. Well, she ended up buying. It ended up being like it was a pretty decent ticket.
Okay.
Well, I charged her labor for all that. I also have Instagram.
You left a $50 bill on the table. Is what you did.
Yeah, it happens.
No, you're just being. That was the right thing to do.
Nice
you
guy.
did.
I'm not a penny pincher.
You did the right thing. I'm just giving you grief.
Instagram follow of the week. I don't think we said it, but Best Gravel Bikes is a new page that started up.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, they literally just repost really cool gravel bikes.
You keep telling us about it while I'm going to look it up.
Well, just like the title. Man, I don't have something witty how like Wes would say with.
What's the actual?
All right, so the actual Instagram handle is BEST_gravel.bikes.
Okay, I see that.
And they just I don't know who they are, where they're from, but they just repost some pretty cool stuff.
Okay, I'm going to follow that. I just followed that. I see you already follow it. I see Will follows it. Because you can see all the things that people follow. There is a best_road.bikes as well.
Oh, well, maybe it's the same people. Because there's that page called Loves Road Bikes, which is super popular, and they have all the road bikes are so boring now.
Yeah, they have it in their profile. It says @best_road.bikes and @best_mountain.bikes.
I'm going to start best_unicycles.
Nice.
Tricycles.
Best_
e-bikes.
Big wheels. E-bikes.
Yeah. So,
Okay,
yeah, they got
let's
some good content. And then they got some cool bikes. You got everything from Speedwagon to like the new Cervelo to hopefully the new Diverge pops out in a couple weeks.
Are you allowed to talk about it yet?
I guess. I mean, no one told me I couldn't. It's not like Salsa where I have like an embargo thing.
You don't have an agreement?
No. Salsa is launching a new bike this weekend at Mid-South, which happens the same day as Coronatan. Can't tell you what it is, but I have one in the store.
Oh.
Yeah, so we'll launch it.
Haven't I been able to see that yet?
You might be able to see it tomorrow.
Tomorrow? I'll come down and see it tomorrow.
Media pass.
Oh, that's right.
I got my media pass revoked for the Diverge launch. I wasn't responsive enough. My specialized rep. I think that kind of wraps it up for you and me babbling.
Let's get Phil on the line. Joining us now is Phil Thomas from over in Virginia. Phil manages Haymarket Bicycles in Haymarket, Virginia, and he is also a part of the OG crew that formed the Shimano Gravel Alliance in 2017. Welcome to the podcast, Phil.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Doing great tonight. Hey, before we get started, why don't you give you a few minutes to talk a little bit about yourself, give our listeners an idea of who you are, and also don't forget to tell us what you're drinking tonight.
Sure, man. I live over in Haymarket, Virginia. A little bit about me. I just like riding bikes, and right now that gravel is so hot, so that's kind of what I've been doing the most of. I guess moved to Virginia in probably like 2012 from Michigan, and about 5 years. I know it's funny you guys had Wes just moved to Michigan, so
I hate Michigan.
I definitely want to see if he's around for the Michigan Coast to Coast, because I'll be going up there to do that this summer.
He won't be riding it.
He won't be doing it?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I can talk him into doing it.
Yeah.
Just been riding bikes and exploring all our awesome gravel roads we have here in sort of Loudoun County, Fauquier County area. We just got miles and miles of it. And then, about, I guess it's 2.5 years ago, started with Shimano for the Gravel Alliance, which has been amazing and a really cool experience to just kind of get to know what gravel is and what the equipment needs to be in order to adapt to what we're starting to do with our bikes.
What is your take? And we used to ask this a lot, and I've kind of gotten away from it.
Yeah.
What is your take on the popularity of gravel? Why do you think the explosion? What is it in your mind that says this is what made it take off?
It's a great question. I don't know if there's necessarily a one thing that made it explode, except I think it just happened out of necessity. With USAC and UCI having all these sanctions on different events, and the sort of accessibility of it got harder and harder for people just to go out and ride their bikes in an organized event. Gravel really did this sort of old school mountain biking, figure it out. Let's just get people together and go ride bikes, and everyone starts together. We don't really know what we're doing. We don't know what bike's good, all that sort of stuff. And it just had this sense of exploration that people were drawn to.
Yeah.
And I think that just made it popular, where it started small and quickly spread.
My take is kind of the same thing. It's it was organic and it was authentic, and it was just people having fun. and it kind of broke the mold, so to speak, from a lot of these things, and it became its own thing. So I think you hit the nail on the head, in my opinion. I think we agree that there's a lot of little things, and that we're a part of a bigger thing of technology coming along at the right time, at the right place, and manufacturers grabbing onto it. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing for me when manufacturers started, just tires alone started coming out with gravel-specific tires, changed everything.
Yeah.
And it just made things so much more enjoyable to be on gravel, whether that's, like our gravel roads are actually like public gravel roads that we get to ride, whereas if you go out west, you're riding more fire roads and what have you. It changes throughout the whole country, but there's tires for every sort of terrain now. So it's great that the industry jumped on board with it and made these gravel specific components to handle it.
That's interesting that you broke it down that way between like the west, the fire roads, but out here on the East Coast and probably in the Midwest too, it's open roadways to travel. And I kind of hope, because you hear people talking about trying to do gravel scales, and we've toyed with the idea before. I'm kind of hoping that they never really do that. They just let the event be the event, and they don't try to start breaking it down into this is a West Coast fire road kind of a gravel event versus, just call it gravel, and you figure out what you're doing. You do your scout, and you go out and you do your thing. Now, we were talking in the pre-roll here that you've got a pretty tasty beer in front of you. I want to give you a chance to give that little brewery that's one of my favorites a little shout-out down there in Roanoke.
Yeah, so I got Star Hill Grateful Pale Ale right now that I'm sipping on, and it's pretty tasty.
Nice.
And I definitely want to head down to their brewery and do a little bit of riding and a little bit of drinking. So I know they got some cool roads and some cool trails to ride.
Yeah, I've done a tour that went through Roanoke. Blue Ridge Bliss went through Roanoke, and we took a bunch of participants over to Star Hill for an evening. And I've been there myself a couple of times. It's a nice little brewery right underneath the Star, right in Roanoke. So kind of cool, man. Kind of cool. Nice looking beer. So
yeah, I was actually hoping to get down there. I was originally planning to do Rockstar 270 this spring and do the gravel version of it, but they moved the date and it didn't quite line up with some other stuff. So that's definitely on my 2021 calendar, though, to do the Rockstar 270.
It is so hard anymore. I mean, we look at our calendars here, and I know Joey's got, because with the shop, Saturdays are tough for him, so he likes the Sunday rides. But there's an event. You can go to an event now every weekend that's a killer gravel event that's like a weekend event festival party. It just feels like there's so many options now. It's almost hard to choose.
It really is. And the other thing is they sell out so quickly that you really have to plan your season well in advance. I was starting to think back in November what I was going to do for 2020. And you have to sit there like Keystone Gravel. I registered for that just a few weeks ago, and sitting there with my finger on the mouse ready to click register because that sells out so quick. So it's great, but it's also challenging to try and put together what you want to do.
What's your event rundown for this year? What events are you riding?
So we got Coronatan coming up here.
Nice.
We're gonna make that a thing. We're gonna make that a thing over there, Joey.
It's a hashtag.
It's happening.
I love that you guys decided to do that. Coronatan. Yeah.
Matt might hate
us. And then after that, I'm gonna do I always get the name wrong, so I always call it the Lululemon.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Lulaka Hundo.
Yeah, the Lulaka Waiko Hundo.
It was on my calendar as LLWH. My wife said, "What is LLWH?" And I said to her, Lulaka Waiko Hundo, and she went LLWH.
I was debating tonight how I can fish and ride that one at the same time.
We'll figure
in the same weekend.
We'll figure it out. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We'll be there.
We interrupted you. So Coronatan, Lulaka, go ahead.
Yeah, so Lulaka, and then DK200.
Nice.
Which is going to be my sort of A race, and that'll be with the Shimano Gravel Alliance will be out there together for that one.
Nice.
And then about 3.5, 4 weeks after that, I'll do the Michigan Coast to Coast, which is I think 210 miles across the state of Michigan. Matt Acker puts that on from Salsa. And it's a really cool event I've always wanted to do, and being from Michigan, it's a great way to see my state. And then really after that, I'm going to take a little break until Keystone Gravel, and then that's kind of my season.
Nice.
Have you looked at Unpaved yet?
I have looked at Unpaved. Remind me what's the date of that one?
October 8th?
October 11th.
October
11th.
So that definitely could be a possibility as well. I know that it sold out last year, and it was it the first year last year or no?
Second year.
Second. Yep. Dave puts on a great show, man. Dave puts on a great show. Clink.
It's all those Keystone people too.
Yeah.
So I know. I think Rodeo Labs came out there for that last year as well, which I talked with Steven occasionally, who's with Rodeo, and he had nothing but good things to say about it.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about GRX and what's going on in the world and how you're involved and all that GRX goodness.
Sure. So really my involvement with it is, Shimano started the Gravel Alliance to help do some market research about what gravel is across the country, and now really even including Europe, there's a European Gravel Alliance, and it just changes so geographically. It's different of what people want out of it. But GRX came about because of that need of a gravel specific group that was tailored to riding gravel. So I guess that would have been the initial press release was that with Dirty Canada last year. And then we did a event up in Canada called the Fertory Gravel Ride in Peterborough in June of last year, where we decked our bikes out with GRX, and I got to set them up and start riding it from then forward. And it's just been really cool. Its versatility of it. I mean, I'm on the Di2 version, which I think has the nicest hood shape, and the servo wave actuation of the brakes comes from their mountain biking, where you can do one finger braking, and it just feels so snappy and smooth. So it's tons of different. Yeah, go ahead.
It's hard to even think about or imagine the fact that GRX, it feels like it's been entrenched, and it's not even been around a year.
Right.
I mean, that's wild. I mean, that just, it feels like it just hit the ground and it was immediate. And I too run GRX Di2.
I got the poor man's mechanical GRX.
Still, you love it though.
Oh,
you still love it.
That's half the reason I'm switching bikes for Coronatan.
Yeah.
What bike are you running it on, Phil?
So I've got probably my favorite bike I've ever owned right now. It's a Otso Wahila C. Which most people are like, Otso, what is that? Basically, it's Wolf Tooth sister company. Same people, just decided to make some really cool bikes, and this is their carbon version. Nice. So it's got clearance for. I've squeezed in some 29 by 2.2s on there.
Whoa!
So for bike packing and sort of going wherever you want to go, it's definitely got the capabilities. It's got a really cool tuning chip, they call it. Wolf Tooth designed it, where on the back you can adjust where the basically the rear drop sits, and will change the bottom bracket height and head angle for what sort of riding style you want and wheel size you're running, so that way you can make the bike sit in a more playful position or a more stable position. It's light, it's fast, it's fun.
Nice.
And yeah, I just love it.
And are you running 1 by or 2 by on it?
So I was running 1 by all the way up until probably about, a month ago. And then now that we're going into kind of the quote unquote race season, I want the range back of a 2x. So gone to GRX 2x for some of these faster events.
Are you? So I'm going to dig a little bit. What are you running like a 36 in the back?
No, so I am on a 11 through 34 on the back. I wish there was an 11 through 36 that was Shimano.
Oh, I get. Yeah, sorry,
they don't make.
Yeah, no, I didn't think about that when I.
They don't make a 36, so I'm on a 34. But that still gives me, with the climbing of the 48-31 double. You know, you got a 31-34 climbing, which will pretty much get me up anything that I need to. And then having that 48 will definitely get me the range on some of the flatter, faster courses that will be like this coming weekend.
So here is a unprofessional professional question / opinion, I guess, from one shop manager to another.
Yeah, let's go.
Have you ever extended the range on the rear of one of those yet? Like
yes.
Bigger cassette?
So on the 1x, I have definitely put a 46 on, and it worked flawlessly, no problem whatsoever.
Yep.
So me and Barry Croker, who is a great guy who does a lot of bike packing and cool stuff in our area. Look him up on Instagram. It's the Two Wheel Dad. He does some cool clinics and stuff. So me and him did a trip out in George Washington National Forest, where typically you would ride a mountain bike on most of these trails.
Yeah.
And we decided to take our gravel bikes, and I managed to squeeze the 46 in, and had a 42 on front, and it was great. It had no issues whatsoever.
What about 2x?
So that I haven't played with yet, but I am definitely going to try and squeeze a 40 on.
Okay.
Because I think it's possible, but it's definitely not recommended. But I think there's a way to, like with the Di2 as well, you can kind of make the chain a little long because it doesn't allow you to go little and cross chain that way. So you can technically have the chain a little long, and hopefully the capacity will work out. So I haven't tried it, but it might work.
Do I have some pictures for you?
We have tried it.
Okay. It did not go well?
No,
it's working. It's working.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Tell them what you did.
Joey's
an innovator. I swear, Joey, you're an innovator. Go.
No, I avoid warranties.
Yeah, thank you. My pocketbook knows that.
Yeah, I mean, just to clarify, all this stuff is,
this is
2x goes to a 34, 1x goes to a 42.
That's what I told Brian.
Shimano has always been known to be a little bit generous when it comes to their tooth count. And, I mean, they'll even admit that.
So on my bike, I have the 800 series. And I'm actually running a Praxis, one of the carbon cranks with a 4832 up front. Because at the time, I couldn't get a GRX crank before Unpaved in October. And I really wanted some climbing gear, so I have an SLX, like a 7000 1142 in the rear.
Oh, nice.
And it has been flawless.
And that's a 1x.
No, that's 2x.
That's a 2x. It's a 2x.
And
so
remind me, you said it's a 4832 is what you're running on the front?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I wanted all the gears.
I
got all the gears, but
need them.
It has been flawless. Like I've had zero mechanical issues, nothing.
Yeah.
And then only because he's a friend, will not do it to an actual customer's bike. Brian set the same thing up on his Diverge with the Di2.
Yeah.
It's been finicky because he busted.
I know what happened. I'm pretty sure I'm going to take the hit because it was working great. And then there was one day I went out just to do a little knock around ride with my wife. And when I took the bike,
the more we say it gets embarrassing on my end.
No. I don't think so. Because I mean, we're basically depending upon the synchro shift is our saving grace. that keeps it from doing what happened to me.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I think what happened was I inadvertently disengaged the wire going into the derailleur, and I didn't realize it. And then I wasn't thinking. So, what does your average consumer do when something goes wrong? We start pushing buttons. So I was like tapping buttons on the junction box. And then Joey was like, oh, just unseat the cable. As I tried the cable, unseat the cable, reseat the cable. And when I did that, it started working again. But I think what happened was all my button tapping, it went out of synchro mode and into manual mode. So I was still on the big ring in the front, and when it tried to climb up on the back, it literally just ripped the derailleur off the bike, snapped the derailleur hanger. What? Give him the laundry list, Joey, of the things I did to that bike.
I replaced spokes. We replaced the cassette.
The wheel.
Chainring.
Chain,
like
cassette,
new drivetrain.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Basically.
So you guys are setting them up relying on the synchro to not go in the gear combination that will rip your bike to shreds.
That is per
me.
Yeah, that is not me.
That is me. That is me. And so what I have done is I have put the display on my Garmin on my head unit to tell me what mode it is. So that when I look at my head unit, I now know. And that was just a lesson learned thing.
Yeah.
It had gotten into manual mode, and it all went. It all went.
This is full Brian. Like, yeah, screw it. I don't care.
It's just the way it is. You got to play with this stuff. You don't play. That's the nature of gravel. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're pushing the limits of the equipment. We're testing things. We're trying things.
Definitely afraid to bring that up at that Shimano clinic.
I think Foy probably would have had some words for you on that one.
But that's who we are. That's what we do. We just fart around with stuff. So and now
I can remember I went out to Irvine for something at Shimano headquarters, and I can't remember who the guy was, but he definitely worked for Shimano. But he had his gravel bike there, which was like a Mosaic, but he had a Fox AX fork on it, where he had managed to put in some sort of way to get an electronic lockout through Di2 onto the AX, and then also had the E13 9 through 46 hooked up to something that really shouldn't be hooked up. It was just all over the place. But that's how you find out the capabilities of the bikes.
Exactly.
Is you start to play with them and you figure out what's going on. And like you said, that's kind of what gravel is, and that's how we ended up where we are now. By trying different stuff.
It takes an innovative, not willing to step outside the box mechanic that thinks it through, along with a consumer and a customer that says, you know what? Hey, if it breaks.
I mean, you rode it for months.
Yeah, months. And it was just totally by chance at that.
My mechanical setup's been flawless.
Yeah, I mean, it actually is spot on. And even that problem I'm having that we were running to ground today.
I
still have a bent chainring. So
it gets replaced tomorrow.
It's just, that's what it is. So and that's what we do.
Really, with GRX, what I think it really did was it developed a spot for gravel specific groups that we were looking for, even down to the ergonomics, to the gear ranges, to the options. I mean, the fact that they kept it even doing a Tiagra level 10 speed is the fact that they realized that people aren't necessarily going to be wanting to go to these 12-speed new free hub bodies and all this sort of stuff, that they just need the current stuff that we ride, but just tweaked a little bit for gravel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if you're allowed to say this, but is there anything you don't like about the group set? Like, it doesn't have to be anything big,
I mean, I think what we kind of mentioned earlier was just the fact that they don't make a 36.
Yeah.
That was the one thing that I really wanted, because it definitely can clear a 36. They know that, but it's just one of those limiting factors there where I think it's not necessarily a GRX thing. I think it's just I wish that there was an 1136 cassette that was 11 speed. Other than that, really, the GRX has just been exactly what I've been looking for as far as shape and feel, and the brakes, instead of having, the hydraulic road brakes want to be this sort of mimic of a cable pull. That's why they made them feel that way, versus like on the servo wave mountain bike style, it's more snappy and springy. So that was a huge thing for me, to be able to have that feel instead of this sort of like pull. And then the other stuff that they've come out with underneath the Pro line has been amazing as well. So right now I'm running their internal dropper with their new dropper lever, which is awesome. You can actuate it from in the hoods with your finger, or when you're down in the drops, the same lever has another paddle that you can actuate with your thumb. So you can really toggle between the two, and they've just kind of gone all in as far as figuring out what people want, whether it's adventure or race.
I guess, I don't know, did I ask you or Alonzo, Brian, but so between the both of you, and I'm usually only just doing test rides and stuff when I'm wrenching on bikes, but the new placement of the buttons in the hoods, do you guys like those?
So that's a good point, because that initially was a big negative for me, where I was like, oh, I can't do this. Like, this is not where I want it to be. I have to, like, the idea was to kind of rock your inner knuckle of your thumb to hit the button, but it's just not quite right. Yeah. But now that I've been riding it for quite a while, and I go back onto like a Dura-Ace or Ultegra Di2 bike that has it on the top, I get baffled with it being on the top, being like, oh my God, this is horrible that I have to take my thumb off the hook.
So I don't have Di2 on my road bike. So I don't have anything to compare it to in that respect. But I like having the buttons. Now I've got my buttons programmed to scroll through my screens on my head unit, on my Garmin. Yep. What do you use yours for, Phil?
So I have mine, right and left scroll through the screens on my Garmin. I have press and hold on my left will always bring up my map with the course loaded. And then press and hold on my right will be the lap button for when I'm doing workouts. And then I don't think I have anything. Oh, no, I do for I've got some Bontrager lights that I have double tap to change the mode of the light. So I have them all hooked up with lots of different features.
I figured that was too complicated.
So I just learned something. I didn't know you could do the tap and hold, and I didn't know you could do the double tap.
I'm surprised you set yours up just for your Garmin. So
it's crazy, because you can assign essentially 6 features to 2 buttons, and you can set them up as simple as just I want to scroll through my Garmin, or have it as in depth as I want to control my lights with it. But I will say that when I get on my mountain bike, I have become very annoyed of having to take my hands off to touch my Garmin. I'm like, oh, I gotta, like, my hands literally go to try and find a button on my grips to hit something that's obviously not there, because I need to look at a different screen on my Garmin, which just is so unnecessary, but so awesome.
So to switch gears a little bit, talk to us about Frostbike rides, and that's done under the Shimano Gravel Alliance. So tell us a little bit about what's going on there. And I know our friend Pete, Sneaky Pete, did a Frostbike ride.
I met Pete at the. I think it was the second one he came out, and it was actually very, very cold that day. So yeah, it really, I wanted to just do a gravel series in February, the month where nobody wants to really have the motivation to get outside and ride, and everybody's kind of hibernating. And the idea was, all right, let's come up with something to have a little bit of friendly competition, but nothing that was considered necessarily a race, I guess. I mean, there was definitely some spirited rides going on at the front, but I just wanted to get people out and ride the bikes and experience the gravel. So it was about a 42-mile loop that we did from our fit studio and coffee shop in the Plains, and I think somebody actually, I don't use Ride with GPS, but somebody made the course on there, and it's kind of cool that they tell you how much gravel it is, and it was something like 78% was gravel. So
it's a nice route.
Most of the stuff that was not gravel was just our little neutral rollout we did from town. So really stuck to a lot of fun, pretty roads, 2 kind of nasty climbs, rotated it each direction each week. So a lot of fun though.
Cool. So that was 3 or 4 rides, I think. It was like a series, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 3. Yeah, I did basically the last 3 Saturdays in February. And it was free for everyone who wanted to enter. I kept it limited to 50 men and 50 women, just to keep it a little bit controlled, instead of having it be all of a sudden there's 250 people riding down the roads.
Yeah.
But Shimano was awesome and helped support it, and everybody got some swag bags with some bottles and buffs, and winners got some scarves, and then overall winners got some of the new the RX8 shoes, a laser G1 helmet, and some XTR pedals. So that was for first, second, and third, men's and women's all got that stuff. So just a lot of fun, really.
Do you ride those shoes, the RX8?
I do, yeah.
Man, I'm still waiting on mine to show up from that tech class.
Yeah, they are incredibly light and fast. They're still super comfortable. I was riding their RC5s, the lace-up gravel shoe before that, which I think is still my favorite shoe as far as comfort. I'm not a fan of laces, but those ones were so comfortable that I put up with the laces. The RX8 shoe is definitely like what they wanted, a gravel race shoe. It's stiff, it's light, and it definitely is still a Shimano comfortable shoe. Yeah,
there's some of those in my future, I'm pretty sure. Which colorway did you get, Phil?
The silver sort of camo looking one. You gotta have a little bit of bling.
Yeah, those are sharp. Those are so sharp.
I really like the women's colorway.
Oh, yeah.
I wish they would make them in my size, because they do like a navy blue with almost like a little pink on it, which I think would be pretty cool.
So in your Frostbite series, what was your breakdown of guys and gals?
So the first one, it was I think around 30, like high 30% women to men, which was awesome. The second one was our lowest attendance, just because it was ridiculously cold and the Sunday was monster cross, so I knew that one wasn't going to have a whole bunch of people come out. And then the last one was the biggest turnout with I think we had 81 people show up for that one.
Wow.
And there was, I think there was like 40 something women registered, ended up being about like 57, something like that, men registered, and 81 people showed up. So
nice.
It was a great success in my eyes, as far as what I wanted to get out of it.
We've been following pretty closely what Tanya's doing with Rothrock. Have you seen what they're doing up at Rothrock Grit in Pennsylvania? She put out a ride, and it's a 50-50 split, men, women, and she just sold out.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, that was the whole drive for it, that I really wanted to try and aim for that, like 50% of men to women. It's tough, but I limited the men's field and turned away people, just because I wanted it to make sure that it wasn't like a combined number of 100. It was 50 men, 50 women. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to aim for, and it definitely allowed a lot of women to join, the few days out beforehand, whereas there was probably 20 or so men waiting for those spots, but it was always full, so that was good.
So speaking of the Frostbite, you guys have a lot of gravel out your way.
Yes.
So what county are you in? I just know that.
So Haymarket is actually kind of like in the corner of, well, so we're in Prince William, but Fauquier County is like 3 miles to the west, and then northwest of us is, well, I guess really just north is Loudoun County.
Yeah.
So Loudoun County definitely, I think, has the most gravel, like sort of mileage. But really, you're always dipping in and out of Fauquier County and Loudoun County when you're riding.
Yeah.
Our fit studio is in the Plains, which is Fauquier County. You've got maybe, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile to a mile before you make your first turn onto a gravel road. And I mean, you can make endless loops of gravel roads and just barely touching any sort of pavement in order to, I mean, you can go do 70, 100 miles and barely touch pavement.
That's fantastic. And it's like if you're in Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, DC kind of thing, that's where you go to find gravel. I mean, it's it. So you're right in the middle of it all.
Yeah, and I mean, we've definitely seen, with the explosion of gravel, more and more big groups out here riding, people, come out to Marshall, or they'll start in Leesburg or Middleburg and park up there and make all these different loops together. So it's definitely thriving out here for sure. I mean, my girlfriend, she lives in Alexandria, and if we want to ride gravel, we either jump on the C&O or we head back out this way.
Have you got any, like maybe on the shop website or something, have you got any routes that people could, jump onto?
Our biggest thing that we share through is there's a Facebook group that's just called Haymarket Plains Group Rides, and that's where like a lot of people either associated with the shop or just people want to share rides. We'll post routes and just, hey, this is going on this weekend, come join. Cool. So yeah, on Facebook is definitely the best place to find that. We just changed the clocks, which for Haymarket Bicycles means we switch from gravel to road. But in the winter months, we actually have a Wednesday night gravel ride that leaves from our Plains location, which is about 30 miles. Lights are needed. We head out at 6 o'clock and do, a 2-hour loop. But as soon as the clocks change, we go back to riding road.
Nice. So, Coronatan, you got a Hail Mary entry.
I did.
You've been diving in deep. How long have you had to prepare for it?
So I actually went through, I had a herniated disc in December that I had surgery for, and was off the bike all the way up until pretty much the last week of January. I was clear to get back on. And so my whole season was like, I don't know what the heck I'm going to be doing, because some people were saying you might not be on the bike until March and blah, blah, blah. So to sort of celebrate being off the bike, and it was cold and it's end of January, me and my girlfriend Melissa decided to do like a quick weekend gravel camp and went down to Coronatan, because it's on the beach. It was 60 degrees at the end of January, and we're like, you know what, let's just find a cheap place and go ride bikes. And she was already registered to go. So I am not necessarily built for these flat, fast, powerful road, rides where you're just grinding away the whole time. I definitely am more of a climber, so I was like, oh man, this sounds like horrible, like I don't know if I want to do this or not. And once we went down and rode, like it's fun, and Savage Road is awesome, and I'm so glad that he's put this ATV trail through the Black Swamp in. You got to keep gravel entertaining and weird. So after doing that, I just kind of was like, well, if it presents itself, I'll go do it. And sure enough, probably the middle of February, a spot presented itself, and I was like, all right, I'm doing it.
Nice.
And I think for me, it's just a good excuse to get a lot of miles in before I'm doing Dirty Kansas this year, and might as well. So I'm looking forward to it, though. I think it's going to be a super fun event. That's, even though it's flat, it's going to be entertaining.
So my wife and I went down and did some pre-riding right in the middle of February. In fact, it was Valentine's Day weekend. So we went back in and did the forest and did Savage Road, and just just to get a feel for it. And I don't know if you listened to Matt. We had Matt on. Was it last week, Joey? Week before? It's 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, and he kind of walked through the entire course. You might want to go listen to that. He walked through it from out of the chute through each of the sections, and
Nice.
He has done a lot of work to smooth out some of those potholes that you obviously experienced, that I experienced as well. And I don't know if you've been following along on Facebook, but there was a washout at the section between the OHV road and Savage Road, and they've had to put a footbridge in.
Yes.
So that'll be an interesting little section. He also did some videos where he was showing people lines about do not ride through water, and
Right.
it's gonna be a fun weekend. It's gonna be a fun ride, and there's gonna be stories that come out of that one.
Yeah.
That's right. I actually sent Matt a message when he first posted that video of the ATV trail where we're going to have to dismount. And it was just like, it's in the Black Swamp, and it's the lowest point, and it was black, soupy mud.
Yeah.
And I sent a message, and I was just like, good job, man. Keep it up. I know people are going to bitch about this, but those would be the people that their profile picture will be changed of them running through the Black Swamp.
Yes, absolutely.
Like they're going to bitch about it, but they're going to love it. So, I think it's great that he rolled the dice to do something like that, and it cuts out on the out and back, which I think is smart. And that bridge, well, it does look rideable. I imagine after some muddy shoes get on that thing, it's going to be pretty slick.
That'd be a fun place if you just want to go watch some activity.
Right. Well, so where that is probably only, like, I guess the Black Swamp actual gravel road is only a little bit down on Savage Road from there, so people could probably walk in and heckle, Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, so I think that should be done.
I guess technically I was just south. We were down there at the same time. When you guys rode, we were just south, and I didn't realize we were that close technically.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you messaged me and said, "Oh man, I'm just down from there."
Yeah, we were down in Wilmington, and we were like in between at this place that was similar. So we decided to ride it. It was kind of cool how much gravel there actually is down there.
Yes.
I forgot what I was going to say.
I'm excited for that. Even there's like a pine section, I guess, like after you do the farm.
Yeah.
And you're gonna, like, in between two railroad tracks, and like that was a blast. I mean, it was just enough sweepy turns that you're still cranking on the pedals the whole time, and it was fun. So I'm excited.
Yeah. So excuse my. So I follow your friend. Is it Crandall? What's his name?
Yeah, Crandall.
Oh man, he's a hoot too.
So his name is Chris Randall, but everyone just calls him Crandall.
I think I rode with him like 4 or 5 years ago, and Steve Keller had me out for a ride in like New Year's Day.
Yep.
And he's always like he's a funny guy, but you posted something on your Instagram the other night about the. I don't know if it was like a joke with nutrition or with the alcohol or something like.
Yeah. So honestly, so me and him are going down together, and I was just like, "Hey man, send me a list of what you want me to get ready for Coronatan." And I was expecting him to be, like bananas, oatmeal, and all this sort of stuff. And dead seriously, he did not do this as like a joke or anything. He just put on there beer, bourbon, minis of Fireball and coffee, and that's all he put on the list.
Man, if you listen to the early part of this episode, Brian's like, talking about his whole nutrition, and I'm thinking the whole time, like, well, these guys.
I can assure you that I will not be having probably even any beer the night before, but during the race, there might be a hand up, but afterwards I'll definitely be partaking in that. But no, Crandall's he's a awesome guy to ride with. He's always just a positive cheerleader, and he usually has a flask with him, so that definitely helps.
I think a hand up between 2 and 3, between lap 2 and lap 3, because lap 3 is mental. It's pure mental, so that might actually just really calm the nerve. And that actually might not be a bad idea.
I'll have my flask with me for you, Brian.
Well, we'll find you, and we can all do a third lap shot together.
Yeah. We'll have to have you you guys go down Friday. You
we'll
told
go down
me
early Friday, and just get settled in. Probably do a little hour spin on Friday to stretch the legs, and then obviously suffer for 150 miles on Saturday. But afterwards, I think we're going to try and go over to Rodeo Adventure Labs has got a beach house that I think they're doing like a pizza and beer thing afterwards. So we might try and make our way over there. But I'll definitely want to meet up with you guys while we're in the same spot.
We're going to be at Ridge Supply with mics set up and talking to people that are doing the ride for just a couple of hours. We're going to catch some people. And
awesome.
Because I do want to go ride a.
What time are you guys going to be there?
Our plan is to get an early start and be there just after the lunch hour.
Okay, cool.
So we're going to get a pretty early start.
I do want to test ride a rodeo. Like, I really want a Flanimal.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new Flanimal looks so nice.
Yeah, we'll see. And we're staying in Emerald Island or Swansboro.
Swansboro.
Okay, so you guys are on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all the way actually down. Because my trip was so last minute, we got a place in, I think it's called Atlantic Beach, which is still like if you go across the bridge into Emerald Isle and then you go all the way up.
Yeah, you're a little ways up. Yeah.
Yep. So we're a little ways out of town, but still down by the beach.
Sweet. Hey, Phil, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely. No, thanks for having me.
Do you have anything else, Joey?
Been awesome.
Yeah, so we are currently starting a challenge. We're big fans of Nittany Mountain Works.
Oh, yeah,
and,
me too.
So do you have one of their half-pack frame packs yet? Frame bags? I think you do, don't you?
I do, yes.
All right, so we're trying to figure out how much cooked bacon you could put inside of one of those. And we're going to do it soon, but we're going to try to start a movement.
Hashtag bacon challenge.
Yeah.
Now... So how much did you say cooked bacon?
Yeah,
cooked
so
bacon,
I think we're shooting for 5 pounds.
Yeah, cooked bacon.
I think that's definitely that's achievable for sure.
Nice.
It's surprising how much you can fit in those things.
Yeah.
See, Joey had this big thing last week where he's like, if we get 5 new Patreon supporters, well, you're giving it up, Joey. You're giving it up.
Well,
he was like, we're going to get 5 new Patreon, and now he's like, we just got to do it. We just got to do it.
When you put the hashtag in front of it, like you just totally changed the game.
I did. I put
bacon challenge.
I put a hashtag in front of the word bacon challenge.
I do have to put an order in tomorrow, and I'm going to call Evan and see if we can get like a blim bag for this or something.
Cool.
So, that was my last
awesome.
little bit.
Yeah. I think you guys can get more than 5 pounds, though.
Yeah.
So, Phil, we do a little thing we call this or that, and I sure hope you're going to want to stick around for this or that. Will you be willing to do that with us?
Absolutely.
Okay. It's going to be kind of crazy. It was just me and you, Joey, with a this or that. That would be kind of.
That'd be kind of lame.
Yeah, that'd be lame. We
can get Max in on it. He's over. He worked the full day at the store.
Okay,
so.
he was over here dreaming before his legs were going. And he was whimpering and barking. Okay, first item on this or that, and I'm going to toss it over to you, Phil, first because you're our guest and we are decent folk, and then I'm going to give it to you, Joey. And then I'm going to muck it all up.
It's usually Wes.
It's usually Wes that mucks it all up. So I will muck it up.
I'll muck
That's
it up.
what I'll do.
Don't worry.
I'll do the thing. First item: washing your hands by singing "Happy Birthday," or washing your hands singing the alphabet to battle the coronavirus.
It's got to be Happy Birthday, just because I think it's just a little bit more fun. Like
Nice.
ABC's, Happy Birthday. You can at least like do like some sort of like different rendition with it.
Joey,
I don't wash my hands.
you started it. Patient zero.
I wear rubber gloves. I wear the Park Tool rubber gloves when I'm at work. When I'm
PKRBG.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Happy Birthday.
I do Happy Birthday.
Yeah. It's catchy.
It's just it's the thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, the big thing is people wash your hands. Come on.
The sad part is who wasn't washing their hands earlier.
Exactly. Exactly. Next item: would you rather begin every sentence with "Hey, idiot," or end every sentence with "Haha, I was just kidding"?
Hey, idiot.
Joey, would you give us an example of two things?
I don't know. You should have been here the whole time Wes was living at my house.
I got one.
Like, hey, idiot, do the dishes.
This is Joey talking to Brian. Hey, idiot, it's not a good idea to do that with your GRX Di2 on the back of your bike.
I'm the one that said it.
Or we should do this to your GRX Di2 setup. Haha, I was just kidding.
Yeah, it kind of works both ways on that one.
Hey, it's your money.
What's your answer, Joey?
I'm gonna go with Hey Idiot.
I would go with
Hey
Idiot.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure like that happened while Wes was staying here for a month.
You call him. Yeah, I heard that more than a few times.
I don't know. Roommates.
See, my brain just goes, we work retail, and
yeah, exactly. See, Brian?
Hey, idiot.
Hey, idiot, you're not supposed to do that with your bike.
Yeah.
I should have had you sign like a form.
You should say, "Hey, idiot, don't let your mechanic do this to your bike." Okay, third item. I'm happy with it. I want to experiment. Happy. Third item. Get sick before Coronatan or get sick during Coronatan. Matt is going to hate that we're calling this Coronatan.
I know.
Well, first, my answer is during. But did you see he just sent out a safety email about the coronavirus? So
yeah, I got a little bit of that.
I think he's definitely worried about it.
It happens.
But see, like during Coronatan, see, I can't even say it right now.
It's working.
It's working. Yay!
It's catching just like the virus.
I think we just got a title.
You get to do the race. Instead of if you got it beforehand, you probably wouldn't do it.
Yeah, well, but also if you get sick during it, that means you were contagious before, so you just basically infected the field. So, Joey, what would you rather do?
I don't want to keep going back, but remember I got sick during Dirty Kansas?
Yeah.
And I threw my guts out.
Yeah.
And by the time I was rested up and got back,
yeah.
I was able to enjoy the after party.
Okay.
So I'm going to go get sick during. Like it totally works.
If you get sick before, you're missing out on all the fun. So you definitely want to get sick during.
Yeah.
And then all the people that stayed with you in your house are going to get quarantined and, all that stuff. Emergency personnel will show up. So last item. This one.
Hold on. I got a quick question.
Okay, quick. Go.
I wonder, are you using Airbnb, Phil? Down there?
Yes.
Do you think people have been getting their Airbnbs canceled?
Ooh, probably.
I'm sure.
I wonder if anyone for going down there this weekend has.
I bet you.
I just thought it.
Yeah, I'm sure people have been canceling all over the place on everything. I mean,
it's like
my neighbors has a restaurant in DC, and like their nightly stuff is down by 50%. Like people just aren't going out. Like it's the zombie apocalypse that we're facing here.
Well, I'm just wondering, as like someone who owns the house, like we're going to stay at Joe Jim Bob's house that we rented from him,
right?
And they pull the plug on us. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh,
that's got to suck.
That would stink if they
John
said no, we don't want people in the house.
I mean, I get the keys to our house tomorrow. Hopefully, John's still. Ooh. Anyway, we can keep going, but let's think about that.
No, we are gravel people, so we've been heard. We were talking to Jess earlier. and she was talking about a lot of races getting canceled up and down the East Coast for this weekend and the coming weekends.
Yeah.
But I gravel people, I think we're going to keep going because we want to experiment with
we're
coronavirus. Dirty. Yeah. It's like, give it to me. Yeah. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, the last item on this or that for this week is a little, I don't know what it is. Mud in your bibs after an embarrassing fall, say across the bridge on Savage Road, or mud in your bibs after not making it to the Porta-John in time. Because you got coronavirus.
I have a story for you.
Before
we go any further. But it's definitely going to be, my answer is for falling in the mud, and having a mud stain versus a shit stain. But I don't know, probably 3 years ago, I was doing up in Michigan. There's a small gravel race that gets put on called the Lowell 100, and it's in. Was it in February or was it April? I don't know. It's cold as shit in Michigan. And you basically head out east for the first 50 miles, and you kind of do like basically a U-turn and head back, and you fight a headwind the whole way. Well, I was having a little bit of stomach issues and made it to about 70 miles and, rotated back and was like, oh, I got to fart. And
never trust it.
They say never trust a fart. Well, here I am, and I'm like, oh my God, I think I just, crapped in my chamois. And this is an unsupported race, and I'm like, these guys that I'm riding with, well, I know them for the last 75 miles. I did not know them before. And so I'm like, I can't tell these guys, what am I going to do? So, I'm just like, oh, I just gotta finish, So I went through probably the darkest moments in my life, questioning everything of like I paid money to do this, and what am I'm a grown man on a bicycle, and I've got crap in my chamois, and what is going on here? And like, this is horrible. So I finish and like just wheel my bike over to my buddy. I'm like, hold this, and I go straight to the porta potty. And I, go to get changed, and nothing, clean as a whistle. And I just had the most humid fart that you could probably have.
Humid fart.
But I, for all intents and purposes, thought I, shit my pants. And it turned out that I didn't. And so definitely it is better to fall in mud than it is to not. So sorry to go on that tangent.
I don't know.
I figured you guys would enjoy that.
I don't think we're allowed to answer now. I think we just wrap it up. We're going to call this the humid fart episode.
Thank you so much for being willing to share that story.
Yeah, it's just. If it turned out not as a quote unquote happy ending, I probably would not have shared that story. But because I didn't actually do it, I can tell people about it.
Joey, do you have anything that you want to add to that? They can't see you shake your head on a podcast.
No, I'm going to fall in mud. That was too good.
I would fall in mud, hands down. I love the part where it's questioning all of my life choices.
Yeah, it's a horrible sensation, that's for sure.
Oh, God, that's fantastic. Man. That's fantastic.
I actually heard about that ride on the Dirty Chain podcast.
Yeah,
not your shitting episode.
It's an amazing ride.
Yeah, it sounded cool.
Oh my goodness! Hey, Phil, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was fantastic. We had a great time. Hope you did too.
We'll have a beer after the Coronatan.
We will be, like I said, we're going to be at Coronatan at Ridge Supply. We are going to be in the bubble. So you'll be able to come up and tap on the side of the bubble and wave to us.
Yes, I will definitely come find you guys.
If you want to see Brian's GRX setup.
Yeah, definitely come see
Actually, Brian, I'm just saying. Brian has like two. Your drivetrain is horrible. I just thought about that.
What?
I don't want to keep geeking out. So Brian's drivetrain has GRX front railer, rear railer. SRAM 1130 cassette, KMC chain, and a practice crank.
Okay, it's all over the place.
It works.
All the boxes.
Yeah, we just hit all the, like Shimano
place.
designs everything around a chain, and you just muck it up.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Did the 11 through 30, is it a red cassette you guys put on there?
No,
not 1130.
1140.
1140.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's like a 1170 cassette.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, thanks, Phil. Much appreciated.
Yeah,
and
that was fun.
We will see you at Coronatan.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome, guys. Thanks so much for having me.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Yeah, bye.
Anything else before we shut this bad boy down, Brian?
As we just talked about, come see us at Coronatan. We will be in the bubble. And like Phil mentioned, Matt did send some safety stuff. So if you're
might not be allowed.
It's true. He's going to be like, oh, God, I call it Coronatan.
Stop it, guys. You ruined it.
If you are not feeling ill, practice good hygiene and social distancing. I like that term, social distancing. I love that.
You kissed a grown man on the cheek yesterday.
I did. I gave him a honey peck. Wash your hands with soap and water and use alcohol-based sanitizer and avoid touching your face and avoid touching the face of other riders. So no face touching. No touching.
What can we use for alcohol to wash?
If you vodka.
Yeah.
If you are feeling ill, stay home. Bring your own bottles of nutrition and self-pit each lap. That's very important. Self-pitting. You want to not self-pity, but self-pitting. You want to definitely self-pit. And this is kind of interesting. They are going to limit hand-to-hand interaction. There will be no hand-to-hand combat. And there will also be no handshaking and no hugging. So we just know that everybody loves everybody, and everybody is thankful that everybody else is there.
I like hugging people.
Just don't touch anybody. No touching. No touching. Bring hand sanitizer if you have it. It's impossible to find anywhere and everywhere because everybody's gone batshit crazy. Bring your own stash. That's helpful. After all of that is said and done, come to the Coronatan, have a Corona, chill it, and enjoy it, dude. That's it.
Man, we need to fill up my small Yeti full of Corona. That's the only beer we should bring. I'm going to bring it to the pit.
That is it.
And then I'm going to take a Sharpie on every Corona bottle and write tan next to it. Can you remind me to do that?
Absolutely.
Actually, we'll listen to this episode as we drive down.
Absolutely. Okay, you got anything else?
Who's going to do the Wes's part? Do you want to... We should get a clip of you should do a montage of all Wes's closings.
I won't do that this time, but I think that's a fit. We're going to have Wes. He's going to be here. It's not like he's...
Wes forgot about us.
No, I don't think so.
Michigan does something to a man.
No, I don't think he's forgotten about us. Yeah. I think he'll come back into the...
You want to call him now?
No, he's just come back in. He's just going to take a little time. Hey, thanks everybody for listening to this episode of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. This is a listener-supported podcast by some absolutely amazing, incredible people that have joined us on Patreon and have sent us PayPal love. Thank you. You do. You know who you are. The jerseys are coming. We promise the jerseys are coming.
Yeah, sometime.
But, a pandemic got in the way. Sorry.
What are the chances we do a jersey order? There's a worldwide pandemic, zombie apocalypse virus.
Our show can be found wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Hey, Joey. How can folks get in contact with
pick
us?
up your cigarette microphone internet thing. That's how Wes would do. He pulls something out. It's like
he pulls something right out of his butt.
We are at graveltraveldirt.com. We have a lot of cool stuff on our website.
Yes,
we have a whole calendar of all the gravel events.
Mm-hmm.
We have stickers. We have shirts. We have gravel tips and tricks, which might be coming soon. I don't know if they're on there. Check out our Instagram. That's what we update the most. At Mid-Atlantic GTD. And stay tuned for Coronatan stories. We'll have a lot of footage and such from down there. If you want to give us a call, 410-231-3850, or stop by our booth at Coronatan.
Our bubble.
Yeah, talking to our cans.
Talk to the bubble.
Use the hashtag AskGTD for any questions you see on social media.
If somebody doesn't start using that, we're going to stop that.
I know. I thought it was a good idea.
We're going to make that.
We even used it one of the three
I
times.
know. I just go and search for it. It says less than 100 posts, and we're all of them.
Yep.
Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt is recorded live in Solomon's Mary. Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt is recorded live in Solomon's, Maryland, in Joey's kitchen. Thanks for riding along. Until next time, for Joey and for Wes, do good, be nice, go slow, respect others.
What about you?
That's for me too. I'm saying it.
Love
for
you back.
Brian.
Love you back. Love you back.
See, we're all out of sync and all out of rhythm.
I know. Love you bye.
Love you bye. We're out. Love you bye.
You want to see the flag of dog poop in my neighborhood?